Hey everybody, welcome back to Kinfolk Farm. Today, we're in the Muscadines, my favorite place to be. Today we're going to be just checking out our muscadines. I wanted to sort of touch base with you guys, and for the new growers, the old growers, just wanted to keep you guys up to date about what we should be doing right about now. As you can see, our weeds are under control. To each his own. I spray for weeds. If you don't want to spray for weeds, don't spray for weeds. But if your weeds are under control, you'll get better growth out of your plants for the fact that your plants are not competing with your weeds. Older plants could be fine. I could slack off on that probably this year with these 5 rows because they're older plants, and they have a root system that's probably strong enough now where they can get the nutrients they need to make grapes. But to make it look uniform and really pretty out here, I spray for weeds. Well, I'm just taking a leisurely stroll up and down the rows here and make sure I'm looking for anything hanging. I'm looking for any growth on our trunk that I need to clear off because we want our growth up here on the main wire. We have our little pollen sacs forming there. You see that? They'll be opening really soon. I'm also looking for any kind of leaf damage to where I may have some pest problems. And of course, I can't take care of them because every time I'm home, it rains. I was going to spray today. Got up this morning early. Raining. It's raining now. Just enough where I can be out here though. But as I say again, we want our weeds under control. We're looking for anything hanging down that I may need to tie up and train back on the wire, or any leaf damage, anything that just looks out of the ordinary. Also, look at this. See how these things just have these little shoots come up and down. Right here at my split, I try to keep everything clean. But also, we should have our fertilizing going on. We should be fertilizing like we're supposed to be. 10-10-10 on the 1st of April, May, June, July, and calcium nitrate on the 15th of all those months. I said it in a video a while back that I'm behind. I'm a week behind. So I'll be fertilizing next week with our 10-10-10, our second batch of 10-10-10. I don't think I'll put quite as much on this time. I may not, I'm not sure. Just depends on how I feel. They're doing great. They're just growing like crazy. And what I like to see is, see this vine right here? This thing is different. It's just different than the others. It seems like it has a lot of life to it. I'll be looking for some like this year to air layer. I'm going to put some 1 gallon pots down, and I'm going to try. These will hit the ground and run if I don't keep them pruned in the summer. They'll actually grow into the other rows and vice versa. But we'll take a good vine like this one. It's going to take off, hit the pot. I'm going to plant it in the pot, let it run out of the pot, and next fall, clip it, and I can use it for a replacement plant if I need some. I want to show you guys how my new plants are doing that I planted, because I had a comment this week about frost damage, and I've been seeing it a lot on the Muscadine Growers group on Facebook. A lot of people dealing with frost damage. We had a real bad cold spell come in. See, look at this guy. See how it didn't quite, it made it to the wire. This is an old plant, this is an older plant, but it never did grab the wire. So I'm going to tie this up with some zip straps. A lot of people don't like that. The trick is to just make sure you don't tie it super tight, because it will choke off your vine. The vine will try to grow around it, and prune it off. Whenever you prune in the February, when you come back and prune, make sure you clip off all your zip ties. If you use anything metal, they make a planter's tape, grower's tape and stuff you can put on here where the plant will grow and it'll tear the tape. But I don't have that right now. I had the gun, but the gun tore up. So I'll be using zip ties to tie this up till it can grab the wire. Like I say, I got it really loose, but it'll keep it from falling. I sort of wedge it in here too. As you can see, I wedge it around the T-post, sort of pry it in there where it won't fall out. That's a really nice 5th year plant, and it shouldn't have no problems with it. But about our frost damage, I'll show you some plants where we actually lost a plant because of the frost damage that we had this year. I just love seeing some of these bigger vines though. I know I can grow them next year. I can't emphasize enough, guys, stay on top of your vines because they grow super fast. I just want to show you the pigs. Every time I come out here, they think they're getting something. Look at these. Look at this plant. It's doing great. And these right here are going down. They're going to be perfect to grow some new plants out of. These big, healthy vines. You see how much longer these are? These are already over 1 foot long. And then some of them are a little shorter. But I'll be looking for these real long ones. And they usually occur in the center of the plant because that's where most of your nutrients and stuff's coming up. But again, I can't emphasize enough, stay on top of your plants. They grow really, really fast. You want to keep your trunks clean because you want your grapes out here going down the wire. For you guys that have new plants, you definitely want to keep your trunks clean. You don't want growth going out that could be going down the wire. You clean off your trunk, it'll push that energy down the wire like you want. Some more leaf damage there. I think it's those little, I think they call them flea beetle larvae is what we're dealing with. I would really be preparing for the Japanese beetles that are coming, guys. If you treat your pest how you want to treat your pest, I treat mine with 7 dust, not 7 dust, but liquid 7. And I just spray, I go up and down the rows and spray, and that takes care of all the Japanese beetles for a while until it rains, and then you got to come back and do it again. But look at this one. I think, see, I lost this one. I planted this one, and it's just gone. Not a leaf on it. You can see down in the tube, not a leaf on it. So I want to replace it with one off this row, and that'll save me some money. If you start letting these hang down, they will grow super fast, grow out in your rows. You'll be hitting them with the lawnmower and stuff like that. Just becomes a huge problem. So keep everything up, keep it nice and tight. I do a summer pruning. I'll talk about that in the summertime. But we do summer prune, and to keep everything up off the ground, because those 5-year plants, they'll be so thick and bushy. It's just crazy. You guys that are new to my channel, you can go back and look at some older videos that I have. These things get really, really big. I'm in the 3-year-old plants now, so not expecting much out of them. I got one hanging over there I need to fix, but not expecting a lot out of them outside of trying to bulk them up and get as many grapes on them this year as I can, because this is going to be our first year that we open up. Now just look at this. Now it wasn't maybe 2 weeks that I've come through here and walked the vineyard already, but look at how much that's grown. That is crazy. This is a little rocket ship plant. It is just loaded with growth. It's got a sag right there I gotta fix. There's another one down there. You can see where I tied that one on. These little tendrils right here, they will grab everything going down this wire. Here's some old ones here you can see that are dead, but then we'll take this one right here and train it down the wire, because this one didn't make it all the way down the wire last year. You can see it almost made it. It made it to about right there. But this right here will slow your plant down, because this is where most of your energy comes from, this root ball right here. And it's trying to bring that energy up, and if it takes a shoot off right here, all that energy is going to be focused down here lower. You want to pull that off again, so it will push the energy out and down the wire and bush these plants out. You can see it's wanting to put on grapes this year. So we'll still get grapes off this plant, won't be no problem. Make a little money off that one. Little pollen sacs just everywhere, ready to go. Ready to go. This is a good plant. And if you guys have any questions while we're watching this video, go ahead and put them in the comments, and I will do my best to answer them. This thing here is going to just put on a ton of grapes. Look at all the little pollen sacs right there. This is a good looking plant. I like it. Good looking plant. And this is a newer plant that I planted this year. Everything with the blue tubes is what I had to replace this year from plants that didn't make it. So what we're going to do on this plant, being it's a new plant. Now, I'm up in the air on these blue tubes. I do like them. Isons highly recommends using them because it acts like a little greenhouse, and it also helps keep rodents from chewing on it. But the greenhouse thing is what I don't like. It'll put on so much growth down in this tube, it drives me crazy. And I can't get in there and prune it like I want. I guess I could lift it up, but I got it all zip strapped on here. But what I do is I will take whatever's growing out of the tube, pinch the tip, and that will stop the growth and keep that energy going up and down the wire. Say like for instance, this plant right here, this thing here coming out of this tube, you can see where it's steady growing right there. But you can come and pinch that off and it'll stop it. It may send out a shoot later, but like I said, if I could get down in there, I'd love to get in there and cut the whole thing off because I like to keep my trunk clean. But also it's wanting to put on grapes already. And what I do when I see these little pollen sacs, I don't want grapes right now. I pull that off, that way no energy is focused on growing grapes. And if I can see down in the tube the tips of anything else, I'll go ahead and pull it. But I don't see anything that I can get my hands on now. But you see how this thing is growing so strong out of that tube. That'd be a great runner, but I want these to grow, and they look so weak. They're not really weak, but they don't look as strong as that one coming out of the tube because, like I say, they're getting the nutrients from the fertilizer and the water all from that root ball. So you want to stop that and push it up here. Now, once we're up here on the new growth on the wire, we'll also pinch the tips of all the new growth except for the one that you want running down the wire. That way it'll run, the others will stop growing. And you have to do that. I try to check on them once a week. And so if I see any new growth, I pinch it. You don't want to pull the whole, you don't want to pull the whole limb off because you got to have leaves for photosynthesis and all that stuff. But say like, I want these to go down the wire, but this one closest to the trunk is growing the strongest. So I'm gonna pinch the tip off that. I'm gonna pinch the tip off that. Now right here where the split is, I got one here and one here. And this is where I always scratch my head. This little tiny one right here, then closest to the trunk, is always gonna be your more vigorous vine. I could let it go, and honestly, I may go ahead and let it go. First of all, you see that little pollen sac right there? We'll pull that off because I don't want no grapes on this plant at all. There's another one here. I don't want any grapes on this plant. I just want growth. So I could pinch this one or I could pinch that one. I could pinch the long one and force that one to grow. Then I go scratching my head and I go, dang, that's a good looking vine. So leave in the comment section below and tell me what you would do. Maybe one day, if I can remember, I'll tell you what I did. Leave in the comment section and tell me what you would do. All right, here's the plant right beside the one we were just talking about. Here's some damage from the frost. See how it's growing super strong, and then all of a sudden, you got that big dead vine. That's what I've been getting some calls about. That frost got it. Don't sweat it. This is going to be my new runner. This one right here. It's trying to hang up right there. But this one is the one I want to start running down the wire. So I'm going to take a zip strap and I'm going to aim it that way. And we'll train it. See how it's coming off that trunk right there? We'll train this one down the wire, and this will just be our new lead. And just remember, do not put your zip strap too tight. For one thing, I don't want to break this vine. I just want to run it a little bit that way. And we'll prune it off whenever, or we'll clip it off whenever we prune next year. Now that dead growth, you can cut that off. I may leave it on there just because it's got a tendril holding it to the wire, and it may fall and drag this one off. I was going to cut it off, but I think I'm just going to leave it. That'll keep that going that way, and it'll keep everything running the way I want. These little tendrils will grab this wire, and we'll have a new vine growing, and it won't take a month. It'll be to the end of the wire. All right, well, I'm going to be cruising down the wire. Here's another one. As you can see, it had some damage. It's all crunchy and dead. But don't worry about it. You'll have another runner. Don't let that cold worry you. These jokers are super strong. They are really, really strong. I've hit them with a lawnmower at the ground and started over before and grew a whole brand new plant. This one, I don't know what happened to it. It grew that way, but never grew this way. So we're going to try to run this one down the wire to finish that plant off. Here's another one that didn't make it. Nothing. And look at there, there's number 3. That one right there didn't make it. Another one over there didn't make it, and this one didn't make it. That's 3 that I got to replace. And like I say, I'm just going to grow my own this year. I think it will be a new learning experience for me, and it'll be fun. I know I'll enjoy growing my own. Here's one doing really, really well. I like that one. That one looks good. That one will come straight up. As soon as it hits the top of the wire, we will pinch it. We'll pinch it, believe it or not. We'll pinch it, and it will lay a split in that wire, in that vine, and we'll train it down each way of the wire. Kind of moving fast now because the rain is setting in. But I appreciate you guys checking out my video. If you have any comments, please leave them in the comment section below. I'll do my best to answer them. Be watering your plants. I'm actually watering my plants now, even while it's raining. I water my plants a lot. So water your plants, fertilize them like you're supposed to, and I promise you, look at this joker. See, this is going to be a good one. Look at that. That's going to be a nice one to run straight down into a pot. And if I need any replacements, which I have 2 new ones on this row, if I need to replace it, any of those, I got it. Like to see that. All right, guys, thank you so much. Look at this bushy joker. For checking out my video, I really appreciate it. I'm trying to think if I missed anything. Be fertilizing, weed control. I run out of zip ties. I should have brought some more. But be using your weed control. Get ready with your bug control, because the bugs are coming. I can promise you, they're coming. It may not be the Japanese beetle, but that's our biggest pest. I'll put a picture on here too, right here. I'll put a picture of this Japanese beetle on here. That way you guys know what to be looking for. They are coming. I just remembered one more thing. I'm trying to remember the comment, but I think the comment was they were asking about the death on the growth. They had their new vines had that cold front come in, and it died all the way down, but they got leaves coming up from the ground. I believe that's what the comment was. Don't give up on your plants. We have a long spring and a long summer. These things will grow and grow and grow and grow. Be watering like crazy. Fertilize like you're recommended to fertilize. On younger plants, you just do a little bit, about a fistful, around about 12 inches of your plant. Don't load your new plants down, they'll burn them up. But don't give up on your plants. You got leaves coming out of the ground, they will come up. Most of the time. I would say way more than not. Your plants will fight back. They are strong. I said it before. I've hit one with a lawnmower and cut it completely down to the dirt. And I mean a big plant like this. we bounced off a stump. The lawnmower hit it and shot over and just clipped it. By the end of summer, it was up, and we had it down both sides of the wire by the end of summer. And it turned out great. So don't give up on your plants. Don't give up. Don't give up. All right, guys. I hope this video helps some of you folks out. Keep me posted how your grapes are doing. Do me a favor. Give me a thumbs up. I always appreciate that. Leave a comment if you have one or a question in the comment section below. Love you guys to death, and we'll see you on the next video.